Hola, I did it. I got my first passport stamp at age 61. I have been out of the country before, but I've never needed a passport before. And I've been to Mexico multiple times. I've been to Jamaica. I've been to the US Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico, but I never needed a passport. And some of those trips were they were vacations at resorts. And that's a little different than what I'm doing now, where I'm immersing myself in living in the country for at least 90 days. So yes, I'm in Buenos Aires, and if you watched my last video, if you watched it all the way through, you were probably pretty amused at my first venture out. I was really, really intimidated. I've gotten over that. I've accumulated a lot of material that I'm going to share in the future. Today, I'm going to talk about the my first impressions, and if I look a little tired, and I apologize, I am a little bit tired, but I want to get this video done for you. But the one of the first impressions I could tell you is that they party really late here. It's not like every night, but Friday night, it's Sunday now, and Friday night they partied until 5 a.m. and Saturday night they partied till about 2. So I didn't get a whole lot of sleep, and I'm not complaining. Don't get me wrong; that's their culture here, and I can sleep anytime I need to, so I can adjust. So that's one of the first impressions. Talking about accommodations, there are a lot of different accommodations, and all throughout Buenos Aires and different barrios. And I'm in the retro neighborhood, and I hope if I mispronounce anything, I apologize in advance. Okay, I'll do my best not to, but I may. Anyway, I'm in the retro neighborhood, and that's next to Recoleta, which is a little more high end, and then after that, there's Palermo, and that's where a lot of expats stay and live, as far as I know. There's a lot of different places to stay. Buildings are just stunning. I love the architecture here. My Airbnb is full of locals, as I said, or maybe I didn't say that, but they did talk about the partying. But my building is older and historical, and I really was looking for something like that, and I'm really pleased with my accommodation. And I'll show that to you. I'll give you a tour of the Airbnb in an upcoming video as well. One of the things about older buildings is, of course, the elevators. Some of you may be familiar. I was not. I'm used to elevators in the US that are really smooth ride. It's definitely a little more jolting. And I don't feel unsafe at all. It's just something, to get used to, and I'm kind of getting used to it now. But it's pretty abrupt. You stop really abruptly, and you leave your floor really abruptly. So it's kind of interesting. Let's see what else. I don't have a washer in my building or in my apartment, so I'll just take my clothes to the laundry probably this next coming week. Let's see. Getting around. There are definitely danger zones on the sidewalk. It's pretty flat. There's not, big hills, steep hills or anything, at least not that I've encountered anywhere around me. But there are a lot of cracks in the sidewalks. There's holes, there's broken pavement. So you need to be very careful where you walk. And when you're coming in and out of buildings, there's usually tends to be a small step, and it's easily missed. So be very careful about that so you don't trip. I've tripped a couple times, but be careful so you don't sprain your ankle. I live right off of one of the biggest, I think is the widest avenue in the world. And again, forgive me if I mispronounce, but it's called Avenida 9 de Julio. And it's like 16 lanes of traffic. And it's also, its name honors Argentina's Independence Day, which was July 9th, 1816. And it's about 16 lanes, but there's landscaped medians in between. When I first saw it on video before I arrived here, I thought it was how am I ever going to cross that street or those streets, you know? But it seems pretty intimidating, but when you're here, it's not, because like I said, there's landscape medians in between and you just cross in sections. The streets and sidewalks, they're crowded, but it's not nearly as noisy as I expected it to be. And right now, I don't really hear traffic noise from my Airbnb either, but if there is a little bit of noise, people are starting to come home now, so there might be a little noise. I hear a dog out there. I don't know if you can hear that. At any rate, walking on the streets is quite the dance, and so is driving. I mean, I haven't driven, but watching the driving it's quite interesting to watch. It's like an art because the streets are crowded. The street I lived on is pretty wide, but some of the side streets are narrower and the sidewalks are narrower. But nobody seems to bump into each other. I haven't been burned by any cigarettes. A lot of people smoke here, so I encountered that in Vegas for sure. I got burned when I was in a crowded area, but let's see. Yeah, no one really seems to bump into each other, and it's just kind of fascinating to traverse and to watch. Jaywalking is really common, and you know, it was kind of funny at first. I was afraid to do so. I watched people do it, but I was afraid because coming from the United States, especially originally from Seattle, Washington, you could get a ticket for jaywalking. So I was nervous to do that. I no longer am. If nobody's coming, people just go, kind of like they do in New York City. And you know, I did it right in front of the police because, you know, just, and they obviously aren't concerned about it at all. And everybody does it. And there is a very strong police presence. And I feel very safe here and very comfortable. So they drive really, really fast here. I personally wouldn't want to rent a car and drive in the city at any rate, because it's pretty, like I said, they drive fast, and I would be afraid I would hit someone. So I won't be renting a car in the city, that's for sure. But you know, driving is just kind of like the walking. It's just kind of a dance, and everybody seems to maneuver. I haven't heard a lot of honking horns. They don't. I haven't seen like aggressiveness from the drivers or anything like that. People just seem really patient. Let's see. I talked about walking around and the hills and the pavement. Everything's really, really convenient, and I just love it. Coming from a place where I had to have a car to go anywhere pretty much. It's really nice to just walk a few blocks to a coffee shop, walk a few blocks to the laundromat, walk a few blocks to the drugstore, walk a few blocks to the supermarket or the produce stand, or, you know, everything is pretty much, I mean, anything you can imagine. Hair salons, nail salons, tattoo shops, barbers, banks, laundry, malls. It's just all just within blocks of where I'm living. And I think it's pretty much the same in all the different neighborhoods. The subway and the bus system is large, and it seems very efficient. I haven't taken the subway and I haven't taken the bus yet, but I plan to. I was really blessed by my Airbnb host, because you have to have in order to ride the subway or the buses, you have to have a SUB card. And I hope I said that right. It's SUBE, so it's either SUBE or SUBE or SUB. I think it's called SUB. But anyways, you have to have a card, and you just load money onto that card, and then you can just ride the transportation really easily. And my Airbnb host left me a card when I arrived, and it has money loaded on it already. So that was really, really nice. And so that'll make it a lot easier for me when I want to ride the bus. And let's see, it's really, really easy to find your way around the city. It's kind of like on a grid system. And, you know, there's lots of monuments to find your way to, as well as Google Maps, of course. But it's just laid out like on a grid, like kind of like Phoenix, Arizona is, and unlike a city like Seattle, Washington, where you have to wind around lakes and things like that. So And let's see. One of the things that I had heard before I, excuse me, before, I hope I'm not moving my microphone. I'm trying not to move around too much. I'm not hitting it, but I'm afraid it's making noise, and I apologize for that if it is. At any rate, I heard that there was a there's a lot of dogs here, and a lot of I see dog walkers everywhere walking, people walking their own dogs, and dog walkers walking like 9 or 10 dogs at a time, something that I'm a pet sitter and I could never walk that many dogs at once, but I see a lot of people doing it. And I heard there was a lot of dog waste, that they don't pick it up here. And I've been walking 4 to 6 miles or so every day all over the place, and I have not encountered any dog waste. I haven't encountered a lot of garbage on the street, occasionally, but not so much. It's fairly clean, but I haven't encountered any dog waste. So at least not in my neighborhood. So I'm calling that a myth. I've seen lots of street sweepers. Maybe they're cleaning it up. I don't know. But I came from 100-degree weather, and I am absolutely loving the spring weather here. It's been about 63 to 68 every day, very comfortable t-shirt weather, and sunny. And so I got really tired of the 100-degree weather. I'm not sure how hot it gets in the summer, and I'll be here to November, so I don't know how hot it's going to get. I think it's going to be in the 70s next week. But I've been very, very comfortable, and I'm tired of the 100-degree weather. So if it gets like that in the summer, I don't know if I would like it here too much. So I'm kind of tired of that. Let's see. Oh yeah, excuse me. They have toll booths here. I wasn't aware of that. So just be aware of that if you're renting a car, that there's apparently a telepays device. And I saw a post from someone who said that they rented a car and they were told that there was a telepays device. It's TELEPASE. And they were told there was a telepays device to get them through the toll booths in the rental vehicle, and you can be fined. So, and apparently there wasn't. So if you rent a car here, make sure you've got one of those, and they don't just tell you and they're lying to you or whatever. But I don't plan to rent a car, but if you do, just be aware of that. So health, cigarette smoking, I talked about that earlier, I think is very prevalent outdoors, not indoors, but outdoors. And this is considered the Paris of South America. And I can understand why from the architecture, as you'll see in further videos of mine. It's absolutely gorgeous. But you get this idea that you're going to sit in these outdoor cafes and it's going to be all romantic and everything. But I don't really care for the cigarette smoke so much. And there's a lot of traffic noise. I'll be going to Mendoza next month, and I'll be going to Bariloche in November, and maybe I'll be more comfortable there doing that. It's more out in the country or in wine country or near the lakes and things like that. So we'll see how that goes. But let's see, what else? One thing that I noticed right away is I seem to be perpetually thirsty before I left the US, and I'm not encountering that here. I'm not sure why I was so dehydrated all the time, but I always was. That's changed a little bit. I've already, in 2 weeks, my pants are looser than they were. I've lost some weight already. I don't know how much. I am walking a lot, but I'm not hungry all the time. And I was constantly hungry in the US because I know because I wasn't getting any nutritional value from my food. And if I ate decent food, nutrition that had nutrients in it, and when I do, and I have here, I'm satisfied, and I don't overeat, and I'm not hungry all the time. So that's definitely changed. And I'm not saying that there's no toxic foods here or anything like that, and everything's perfect. It's not. There's toxic foods everywhere. But it's been really nice to be able to go just down to the local produce stand and I've gotten fresh strawberries that were really sweet and ripe. In the US, I haven't found strawberries that were really had any flavor at all in years. And I love pears, and I got a couple pears at the produce stand that were soft and juicy, and I haven't encountered that in the U.S. It seems like they're always hard, and they just never get soft and juicy, and so I've been really enjoying the fruit here. I've gotten some avocados. What else did I get? Bananas. Bananas even seem to taste better, and that could just be in my head, but definitely the strawberries and the pears were wonderful, and that was something that I was really excited to experience when I got here, and it's been really pleasant. And oranges also really juicy and ripe. Yeah, so let's see what else. Let's see, I'm looking at my notes here. Yeah, I felt bloated a lot in the US too, and I haven't felt bloated since I got here. So it's been really nice. It's very much a cafe culture, and I really enjoy that. So I'm going to talk a little bit about stress. My stress level has definitely decreased in the last 2 weeks. In excuse me, in a sit-down restaurant, you really relax and enjoy the experience. The the wait staff don't interrupt you constantly. And it might even seem like they're ignoring you at times. And when you're ready to pay the bill, they don't seem to be in a big hurry to bring it to you. It's really nice to you just need to be patient, and it's really nice to just people watch and take your time with enjoying your food and your coffee or your wine or whatever. And I'm really embracing that. And what else? Yeah. I guess I love this because I think I even made a t-shirt in my shop about it, but it's okay to practice the art of doing nothing. And in Italy, they say, and forgive me again if I mispronounce, but dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing. And in Spanish, I believe it's el arte de no hacer nada, the art of doing nothing. And that's something I'm really embracing. Let's see what else. Oh, food. I touched on this a little bit. You shop locally. You buy your meats at a meat market. You buy your produce at a produce market. Your personal items at another. Pastries and breads at bakeries. And they also have supermarkets where you can buy all those things as well, larger supermarkets. But it's really convenient. The larger grocery store, they're called Carrefour supermarkets, and I've been there once so far, and it was really easy to navigate. It had a decent produce section as well, and decent prices. Let's see, my first haul was like $14.72, and I don't remember everything I got, but I got quite a bit, and I was really pleased with the prices. And what you do is you just grab your cart or your basket, you load it up, then you take it to checkout, unload it, they scan it, and then you put it back in your cart or your basket. And then after you pay, and then you step aside and put it into your bags that you take it home with. So that's how it works. I haven't found all the healthy options here yet. Like I said, not everything is healthy and it's not perfect. I'm not a vegan, but I don't eat a lot of meat. I will be trying meat here though, because it's a really big deal. There are vegan restaurants and vegan options, definitely. I've seen quite a bit of that, and they do have like smoothie shops. I haven't, there's not a whole lot of them around me, but I'm going to check out some of those too. Let's see. I talked about the strawberries and the fruits and all of that. I have tried one burger here and I didn't really love it. The fries were great, maybe a little too salty, but if you know of a fantastic burger place, please let me know in the comments and I'll try it out. Let's see. Mate is really big here, and I haven't tried that yet. I don't know if I'll like it. It's an herbal drink. It's like I wrote it up. It's a traditional South American caffeine-rich infused herbal drink, and it's really big here. I'll definitely try it at some point. I think people like share the drink, and I'm not real big on that. But if it's offered to me, maybe it's probably not rude to decline. I don't know. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but I do want to try it because I want to try different things that are important in different countries that are, customary and stuff. So I think that new experiences are really important. So let's see, money. What I've encountered is I've been able to use my credit card almost everywhere, but not necessarily consistently. I went to a place and got empanadas and they took my credit card. I went back another day and they didn't. They wanted cash. And that also happened at a coffee shop that I went to a couple times. They took credit card the first time, then I went back and they wanted a debit. And I think they were looking for a local debit, but they did take my debit card. I do have cash now, so I can tip, because that's the other thing. Tips are not included. When you pay in America, you give them your card and they run it, and then you can add a tip. You don't do that here. They just run the total and that's it. So you want to have cash to tip. You do tip here, at least 10%. And then, so the first time I didn't have cash and I felt really bad. I need to go back to that place and tip them. And the best way to get cash, at least in my opinion, what worked for me was to get a Western Union account, and then you send money to yourself, and then you just go to Western Union and pick it up. I was under the impression that they may run out of money in the afternoons, so you want to go in the morning, and that there may be lines. I haven't encountered that at all. I've never seen any lines outside Western Union. So maybe it's just the season and it's not as crowded. I don't know. But I had no problem getting cash. What else? Oh, not everything is inexpensive. A lot of things are. I can get a coffee and a croissant for maybe anywhere from $4 to $6, and really, really good coffee too, by the way. But I went to the drugstore for a few items. I wanted some lotion and a couple other minor things, and it seemed comparable with U.S. prices. But it just depends where you go and where you shop. And safety. I feel really safe here. I'm very safe in my Airbnb. I'm still aware of my surroundings always. I've been carrying my camera around and taking videos and things like that. Haven't taken my GoPro out yet. I will do that this week, but I haven't had any concern. I'm very aware, and I'm hanging on to it real tight, but I'm very aware of what's going on around me. But everybody on the street is walking around with their phone in their hand. So, let's see. They say that they're stolen a lot here, so I don't know. I hope it doesn't happen. But I saw my first protest. It was really quiet. There was a large police presence off to the side, but they were really quiet. And I asked a gentleman that worked at a hotel who speaks English, and my impression from what he said was that they were protesting because of unemployment. So that was my understanding. I don't know if that's correct or not, but you do encounter homeless people here, of course. Times are tough here. And the weather, I think I talked about that already. It's been really, really comfortable, and I really love spring here. Coming from 100 degrees, I thought that 63, I would be freezing. Very, very comfortable. Let's see. I talked about it being the Paris of South America. I've never been to Europe, but I'm obsessed with the architecture here. And I don't know a lot about architecture, but I love the Juliet balconies and the shutters, and the doors are amazing all throughout the city. And I've been taking pictures of doors because I could do a video just on the doors alone. They're stunning. And I could do a video just about all the cafes. Some of the they're so unique, and some of them are just absolutely stunning as well. The architecture is absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of French and Italian styles apparently. So like I said, I don't know my architecture, but it's really, really beautiful. And I'll be showing that in further videos. There's statues and monuments and fountains just tucked away everywhere. I'll just be walking down the street and there's another one, and I have no idea what the meaning is behind it. So I will probably be taking a tour so I can learn more. And if I put it in a video, I'll look it up so I can explain it, because I want to give it the respect that it deserves. I don't want to show something really cool and say, oh, but I don't know what it has to do with, because they are important to the culture and the history. So let's see. So that's my impressions after a little less than 2 weeks here. And please leave comments, like, subscribe. I really appreciate it. And this is really exciting for me. And I just want to say that if you are like me, a solo female traveler, or even if you're a male traveler, I'm 61 and I've never done this before, and I'm so glad that I'm doing it. And it was intimidating at first, but it's getting a little easier. And I just want you to know that if I can do it, you can do it. So thanks for watching.